Chosen one, the developments you are experiencing may feel unfamiliar, even unexpected. However, their timing is not accidental. For those who have endured long periods of uncertainty, isolation, and spiritual doubt, this moment marks a distinct shift in direction, one rooted in purpose and divine selection. The signs that once seemed distant are now coming into clearer focus. Life's difficulties, once perceived as barriers, are being reframed as preparation. Your patience, consistency, and belief in something beyond the visible have positioned you for elevation. Where once you may have felt overlooked, your presence is now gaining acknowledgement, not through external validation alone, but because the spiritual foundation you've laid is producing tangible results. This is not simply a personal triumph. It is a turning point. You are beginning to see the emergence of long-awaited outcomes. Closed doors are reopening. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable are now yielding opportunities. The respect and recognition that previously felt out of reach are arriving with clarity and purpose. These changes are not random. They are a direct reflection of your resilience and unwavering spiritual alignment. There is, however, a broader context to understand. Your experiences, the silence, the doubt, the uncertainty, were not signs of divine absence. Rather, they were part of a larger process of preparation. The waiting period served to strengthen your endurance, refine your focus, and develop your spiritual maturity. In hindsight, the moments of stillness were not voids. They were necessary phases in your growth. Recognition is now beginning to manifest in both subtle and public ways. Individuals who may have dismissed your efforts in the past are reassessing their perceptions. What was once overlooked is gaining visibility. Those who questioned your path are beginning to understand that your consistency was not coincidental. It was intentional. This is not solely about external validation. It is about the internal transformation that has positioned you to walk in alignment with your higher purpose. Your spiritual gifts, often unnoticed by others, are beginning to emerge in new forms. These gifts are not arbitrary. They are calibrated to the path you are on, and they will now serve both you and those around you. The transformation underway is both internal and external. Spiritually, you may notice a greater sense of clarity, conviction, and discernment. Mentally and emotionally, past limitations are beginning to fall away. And practically, your environment is reflecting these internal changes. New doors are opening, opportunities, relationships, and resources that previously seemed unavailable are now becoming accessible. This development should not be seen as sudden. It is the result of long-term spiritual investment. The prayers you offered, often in solitude, were not ignored. The decisions you made to stay grounded in your principles, even when faced with adversity, have built a strong foundation. Now, the rewards of that consistency are becoming evident. In this current season, it is important to acknowledge the role of preparation. The shift you are experiencing has not occurred in isolation. It is the outcome of cumulative faith, effort, and intention. The pain, the confusion, and the delays were all part of the process that has led to this moment. You may begin to notice an increase in synchronicities, moments that seem too well-timed to be accidental. These events are not merely coincidence. They serve as confirmations that your steps are now aligning with a greater design. It is also worth noting that your journey has created impact beyond what you may realize. Individuals observing your perseverance may find themselves inspired, even if they never express it directly. The spiritual work you have done is quietly influencing others, planting seeds of reflection and growth. As this new chapter unfolds, humility remains essential. Being chosen is not about superiority. It is about service. The awareness you've gained the insights you've received, and the growth you've undergone are all tools intended for a broader purpose. They are meant to elevate others, to bring healing where there is confusion, and to model authenticity in a world often governed by appearances. Your influence, therefore, is not based solely on what you say or do, but on who you have become. This influence grows not through recognition alone, but through your ability to remain centered, to lead by example, and to uphold the principles that brought you to this point. As you move forward, clarity will continue to increase. Questions that once felt unanswered will begin to resolve themselves. The relationships that remain will align more closely with your purpose. Those that no longer fit will gradually dissolve. This too is part of the transformation. In summary, you are entering a season of visible manifestation. The signs are no longer abstract, they are becoming concrete. Your life is reflecting the spiritual work that has long been taking place behind the scenes. And while this shift may feel surprising, it is the natural outcome of the work you've already done. As the path continues to unfold, the significance of your journey becomes more evident. The clarity you are now experiencing has been long in the making. It is the product of a deep internal alignment, a merging of intent, action, and spiritual awareness. This alignment is not temporary. It reflects a broader transformation that positions you to fulfill your purpose with both confidence and precision. Throughout the earlier stages, you may have questioned whether your spiritual convictions would ever intersect with tangible outcomes. Many chosen individuals face this internal dilemma, navigating a world that values immediacy while living a life rooted in long-term spiritual principles. Yet, what distinguishes your path is not just endurance, but the ability to remain aligned with a greater truth despite uncertainty. In practical terms, alignment means that your decisions are increasingly guided by discernment rather than external pressure. You may find yourself stepping away from distractions, making room for activities and relationships that contribute meaningfully to your mission. This isn't about retreating from life. It's about becoming more intentional with where and how you invest your energy. You are now entering a phase of influence, one that is not defined by popularity or visibility, but by authenticity and substance. Others will be drawn to you not because of what you claim, but because of what you embody. The clarity, balance, and peace you've cultivated will naturally attract those who are seeking similar direction. It is at this stage that many chosen ones discover their role not only as receivers of insight, but as conduits for insight. You are being positioned to support others through guidance, presence, and action. This responsibility is not symbolic. It is real. Your words may carry weight. Your decisions may set precedents. And your behavior may influence others in ways that extend far beyond what you immediately perceive. It's essential, therefore, to maintain clarity of purpose. Spiritual influence must be grounded. It must be exercised not from ego, but from understanding. The true impact of a chosen one lies in their ability to remain centered, especially when others are not. This groundedness will become one of your most valuable assets. With this influence comes the opportunity for spiritual leadership, not in a traditional or hierarchical sense, but as a model of integrity. You lead not by instructing others on what to believe, but by showing what it looks like to live with principle and alignment. In this way, your presence becomes a stabilizing force in a world that often feels fragmented. It is important to remember that your journey is ongoing. The recognition and transformation you are experiencing are not endpoints. They are transitions. As one phase concludes, another begins. Each new stage will bring its own set of insights, challenges, and responsibilities. The key is to remain adaptable, to stay anchored in your principles, even as your circumstances change. This adaptability will serve you well as the blessings you once hoped for begin to materialize. Financial stability, emotional clarity, and relational harmony may now be within reach. However, these outcomes should be viewed not as goals in themselves, but as tools, resources to support your broader mission. Gratitude will play a central role in maintaining balance during this time. As you receive more, be mindful to remain thankful, not only for what is visible, but for the unseen guidance that brought you here. Gratitude is a stabilizer. It prevents entitlement and reinforces awareness of the process that made these changes possible. Additionally, the presence of those who once questioned your journey may now shift. Some will seek your perspective. Others may mirror your path. Your response to this shift will matter. Humility will distinguish you. Responding with patience rather than pride will deepen the impact of your message. You may also notice a deepening of your own spiritual gifts, intuitive clarity, discernment, emotional insight. These abilities are not new. They've always existed within you, but they are now coming to the surface because the conditions are right. This emergence is not coincidental. It's a sign that your internal development is aligned with the timing of your external opportunities. Take care to nurture these gifts responsibly. They are not meant for performance or comparison. They are tools for service, ways to support those around you, and to further refine your own understanding of the path ahead. As your influence expands, the challenge will be maintaining simplicity. The world may present distractions in the form of recognition, increased demand, or pressure to conform. Resist these distractions by consistently returning to your source through reflection, stillness, and prayer. These practices will keep you grounded as you navigate more complex terrain. The concept of being chosen often carries misconceptions. It is not about exclusion, it is about responsibility. To be chosen is to accept the task of embodying spiritual clarity in an environment that may not fully recognize or support it. It is to lead without demanding, to serve without expecting, to elevate without seeking applause. Over time, the consistency of your presence will create change, sometimes quietly, sometimes visibly. Whether you are aware of it or not, your journey is already influencing others. This influence is most effective when it comes from a place of integrity, not performance. There may be moments ahead when you feel the weight of this responsibility. You may wish for a return to anonymity or simplicity. These feelings are natural. When they arise, return to your foundation. Remember why you began. Reconnect with the truth that led you to this point. This grounding will provide the resilience needed to continue, even when the path feels demanding. In the coming days and weeks, remain attentive. New insights will arrive. New relationships will form. Some opportunities will challenge your discernment. Others will affirm your direction. Trust your intuition. It has been refined through experience and is now ready to guide you with precision. The chapter unfolding is not just about external success, it is about internal congruence. The more your actions, values, and decisions align with your spiritual principles, the more you will experience ease. An ease not of circumstances, but of purpose. You may find that your definition of success begins to evolve. What once felt urgent may now seem secondary. What once seemed small may now carry great meaning. This shift in perception is evidence of your growth.